All right, let's go ahead and get started. Hopefully everybody can see me. Welcome to our webinar. I was talking to Luke. Luke's up there now on screen too. His camera's on. I was talking to him before the webinar. I said, I think we add more complexity to these webinars every time we do them. We're now streaming live on Facebook. We've got multiple screen shares that we want to show you guys today for your Facebook advertising. I'm going to let Luke kind of explain to you why we're even doing a webinar on Facebook advertising here in a little bit. But as everybody's jumping on, if you could use the Q&A box so that I know that you're able to find that, because we're going to do questions and answers at the end of the webinar. Go ahead and type in that Q&A box your name and where you're from. That way I know that you can hear me, that you can see me. We can give you a shout out. In the meantime, I'll introduce myself. If you don't know, my name is Josh Stike. I'm the VP of Marketing here at ReminderMedia. Been here since day one, really, for about 17 or 18 years now. It's hard to keep track, but super excited to be able to bring this webinar to you guys today. Christiana from New York is on, Liz, Daniel from PA, Dahlia from New Jersey, Tiffany from Pasadena, Sarah from New Hampshire. New Hampshire, all right. I don't remember having a New Hampshire attendee before. Give a shout out there. Shelly from Indianapolis, Natty from New Jersey, Eric from Tampa. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for chatting in. Glad to have some interaction going with you guys. We really want to keep this interactive, so make sure you're sending us your questions as we're working through and kind of going over our webinar here today. But like I said, as we have more people jumping on here, just wanted to go over free resources that we provide here at ReminderMedia. We are constantly trying to provide value to our clients and provide value to anybody who's really looking at focusing on their marketing, sales and marketing. So if you go to our website, remindermedia.com, and click resources, you'll find our resource library there. So we've got ebooks, we've got success guides, we've got a lot of training documents and our past webinars. These are just really good, strong best practices for sales and marketing, as well as some tools to help you be able to use the product better. One of our most popular free resources are our printables. The team has been updating these a lot, I mean, even to extend beyond printables at this point, because it's kind of hard to, the whole idea behind printables is you print them out and then you use them as handouts or pop-bys for your clients. Obviously, we're all quarantined and separated right now. So it's a good time to take some of this stuff and prepare it for when we're allowed to leave the house again. But they also have been updating that with social media images that you can share during these times. And these are just positive messages that you can use to connect with your clients. Now is the time to over communicate, show that you care with your clients and your entire network. And then we also have a weekly podcast, Stay Paid podcast, where we are interviewing industry experts and leaders in every industry, a lot in real estate, financial services, insurance, and just general sales and marketing with all of those different types of industries. You see there, we interviewed Tom Ferry recently. Luke and I have been putting out even more podcasts. So we're doing about 2 a week now, where we're just bringing people back on the podcast that we've had in the past to talk about the current situation and what they're doing during this time. And the results and the advice has been absolutely amazing. So with that said, I'll turn it over to Luke to kind of kick off this webinar.
Like Josh said, obviously appreciate everybody being on. We want to take your questions, so that Q&A box, we're going to go through, and what we're going to try to do on this webinar is make it interactive. And as Josh and I have experimented with Facebook ads, and not only for agents, but for our own business. So we spend a ton on Facebook ourselves, and we have helped agents with Facebook. We wanted to really bring to you guys a webinar that really shows you within Facebook's ad manager. So Josh is going to get in the ad manager, and we're going to set up some of these ads. All this is going to be recorded, so you can reference back to it, and then we'll have a time for Q&A at the end. One of the main reasons we wanted to do Facebook ads is because, we'll cover this about why Facebook, and social media and all this stuff. The passion behind our company has really been about this foundational principle of how do we help you as a business owner connect on a relationship level with your clients and with your sphere. Because here's what I know. I know as a business owner, if you can get the people in your community, in your sphere, to know you, to like you, and to trust you, then ultimately when that trifecta comes together, when the topic of real estate comes up specifically, they'll think of you and not your competition down the road. In social media, specifically Facebook, when Mark Zuckerberg created Facebook, one of the main reasons he created it was to connect people. He wanted people to be able to connect with each other on a digital platform, build relationships with each other. And I think you've all experienced that. And I think Facebook is an incredible tool to use as a relationship builder. And we're going to talk about these 3 different ads today. But Josh, if you want to go forward, I just want to share with everybody, if you don't know about ReminderMedia, like we have obviously tons of people on this webinar right now. I know a ton of you are clients. So from the bottom of Josh and I's heart, thank you for being a client. We had our quarterly meeting today, and it was our first virtual quarterly meeting. So we had 200, I think, people. We have about 220 employees here at ReminderMedia. So we had about 200 people on this Zoom call. So it was kind of hilarious at times, but it just made me reflect. I'm so grateful for all of you as our clients, giving us the opportunity to do what we love, putting your trust in us. And we just want to double down on giving you value. And for those who don't know about ReminderMedia, that really is our focus, is helping you connect at a relationship level, bringing products to you that are turnkey, that are the highest quality. But most importantly, if you look there at the second bullet point, this is really our mission. So everything we do today on this webinar, everything we do in creating our products is for this and this alone. And the reason why I like to share this with people is because I think it's important you guys know what is driving our decision making. What's driving the content we bring to you? It's all driven through this lens of how is this going to help Josh Stipe, the business owner, close more deals in his business and help him retain the clients that he has so those clients don't leave him. They don't go somewhere else. And everything we've done up to this point has been driven through that mission. And everything we're going to educate you with today with Facebook, and we've tested some of this stuff with agents, has been through this mission of how do we use Facebook as a way to help people connect at a relationship level to ultimately empower them to close more deals and retain more business. What you guys are going to learn on this webinar specifically is why do you as a business need to use Facebook ads. And so we're going to get into that in a little bit here. It's a golden opportunity. If you guys are fans of Gary Vee, he's been screaming this for years, that Facebook and the cost of Facebook is still so relative. It's cheap relatively to the other marketing that you can do out there. The second thing, which is going to be the meat of this webinar, is these 3 ads. And we're going to show you how to build 2 of them and talk about the third one a little bit. We're going to get in there and actually show you how to build it. We've been running these ads for an agent and show you kind of the results there. And then third, Josh and I are super passionate about proactive marketing versus passive marketing. We are both marketers. We're both salespeople. Our podcast, where we started interviewing these thought leaders and real estate agents, business owners, came out of this idea of we keep sharing information with people, but they're not taking action. They're not literally, like using their marketing and where it's set them up to capitalize on it. So the follow-up, you guys can tell I'm already getting passionate about this bullet point. The follow-up is so key. And I want to talk to you some tips and tricks that you can use to follow up with the leads that will come off of these Facebook ads that you're generating, and how do you turn that into actual business. So let's start with, why a business page. Before we get in there, we want to do a poll real quick, and we want to see how many of you actually have a Facebook business page today. So again, this is going to be a little interactive, but if you could just take a second and just vote if you have a business page or if you don't, just so we know kind of the audience and what we're looking at here. I would assume that most of you do, but.
Can you see the results, Luke, coming in?
I can't see them now. I don't know.
We've got this is great news, because we've got about 95%, 77% of people have voted, 95% already have a Facebook business page.
Beautiful.
So I'm going to end that poll.
So talk a little bit, Josh, and give your opinion, because Josh and I are going to go back and forth a lot like we do on the podcast. Give your opinion on, why someone actually needs a business page, because a lot of the questions we hear are, what's the difference between my business page and my profile, where I'm adding friends, versus business page, and why do I need a business page and the advantages there?
So why do you need to be on Facebook in general is kind of like the first question. And the reality is today, you have to be on Facebook, you have to be on social media just from the standpoint is if somebody is on that platform, because people are using social media platforms, and this goes across the board, to find businesses and to find answers and solutions to their questions or problems. And they're going to be searching on these platforms, and you need to be present there to be able to be found, number one, but then also it's a professional presence. You need a holistic, complete professional presence online, and social media, whether you like social media or not, is one of those pieces to it. So that's number one, the first reason why you need to create your social media presence. Now, the difference between a profile and a business page gets a little bit more into the details of how are people finding your contact information. There's a lot more things that you can do on a business page that allow you to highlight, showcase, and then drive people to your contact information and how to get a hold of you or how to take action with you. You also have the ability to run ads on your Facebook business page. So you can't run an ad as a profile. You can't even boost content as a profile. You have to have a business page set up that will allow you to run those ads, which will allow you to reach a larger audience. Facebook right now, through business pages alone, you're only going to reach about 2% of your audience organically. So you have to be able to put some money behind your post to be seen, which will automatically make you more well-known, more present, more omnipresent, as we would say, across all of your platforms for the people that you are looking to target in there. You can also, with business pages, you can get reviews from your clients. So it's a great opportunity to showcase client testimonials, encouraging people to leave reviews for you as their agent or their business professional. And then that will build trust with anybody else who is looking into your services or finds you through one of your advertisements.
One point I would make there, guys, on reviews too, just this is what we've seen in our own business. And so like if you went to remindermedia.com, we have a place up in our menu where you can look at our results, look at our reviews, and then we have Facebook. What we find is that from a sales process, it's not that they totally discredit our reviews on remindermedia.com, but I think the consumer has now been trained to just see the reviews that you post on your website as cherry-picked reviews.
And
like
filtered, right. Yeah.
These are filtered, and where Facebook, just from a review standpoint, because I know this for our sales guys, when we're even talking to agents, like when we're trying to earn your business and stuff, we know that when people see the Facebook reviews, it's just so much more trustworthy. So even in our sales presentation, we say, look at our reviews on Facebook, that type of idea. So capitalizing on reviews for your Facebook page after every closing, that's like, I tell agents it's a must. If you're not asking at the end of every closing for people to review you on your social media platforms, come on, get with it.
So someone's asking, how do customers leave reviews? They've actually changed it. It's called recommendations now. So right there on your Facebook business profile. Now you can turn these off. So if you have yours off, go into business settings, make sure that you're turning the ability for people to leave recommendations on. And then right there on the business page, and we can even look at it later because I'm going to be bringing up Luke's page and I can point it out there. But that's how people would leave recommendations. The last point for the Facebook business page, you can see it up there on the screen, is it's also going to give you insights on how your posts are performing. On your profile, the only real insights you have on how your posts are performing is by reactions or comments, right? People actually liking or laughing or being mad at one of your posts or the comments there. If you have a business page, you can actually see how many impressions your post made, how many people clicked through your post. So there's a lot more insight that you can use to tell what content is working and what content might not be working.
If you guys need help, now, Josh, you said what, 95% have a business page. So most of you guys get this. If you need help, if you're in the few percentage that doesn't know how to set up a business page, we have a great blog. It's 5 simple steps. We also have marketing coaches that are more than happy to help you, but it's super simple, and we'll have access to this blog. When we send out the follow-up email, you'll have access to this blog to make sure you have your Facebook page set up the right way. You got to get people to like your Facebook page. And I'm going to tell a little funny story here about my own Facebook page to tell you guys that, hey, this is just like following up with your clients and how we think everybody's going to use us again, but then they don't, and we wonder why. My own life, we were probably, I don't know, man, 6 months, 8 months into my own personal branded Facebook page. And Josh is going through and doing this first tip, which is invite everyone you know to like your business page. So Facebook gives you the option to invite, and I would encourage you to invite everyone you know to like your business page. And he thanks me and goes, Luke, your own wife doesn't like your page. I just invited her. And so, shame on me or shame on my wife. But the point being is, just like with your referral business or your repeat business, you can't just think that because someone's your wife or someone's your brother or your cousin, they're going to use you again. Don't think that they're going to end up liking your page if you don't invite them. So the same principle applies. Go through and invite everybody. It's a perfect opportunity to reach out to everybody, touch everybody on your friend list to invite them to like your page.
Yeah. No, definitely. And it's right there on your page's site. You're going to be able to see all of your friends from your personal profile right there. You can invite all of them in one swoop, or you can go through and pick which ones to invite there. The other thing to do in order to grow your page is to cross-post from not just from your personal page to your business page, but also other professionals or other people that you work with. Cross-post their content. So cross-posting is simply just taking someone else's content, posting on your page, and then having them take your content and post it on their page. So there's a quid pro quo there with the other professionals or connections that you work with in your network. Basically say, hey, let's grow each other's pages. I want to reach your audience. You want to reach my audience. So that's a great way to do it. Take advantage of groups. That one's not up on the screen, but take advantage of groups. Facebook is really focused on pushing groups right now because they're trying to get Facebook. It's a PR push, really, from all of this stuff that they went through on Capitol Hill and all the issues with their advertising, which we'll get into a little bit as it relates to housing. But really, they're trying to push back towards what Facebook was created for, which are people connecting, people with like interests, getting together and sharing and connecting. So make sure you're joining local groups as the local professional. And don't just spam those groups. Don't just spam them with your listings or spam them with your information about your business. Make sure you're joining in the conversation and providing value. And then another thing that you can do is don't forget about your other audiences. So if you have a CRM or you have a database of contacts and email addresses, make sure you're letting them know not only that you have a Facebook business page, but more importantly, what they can expect whenever they come and join your Facebook business page. Because people will, if you're producing good content, you're going to keep your audience, but you're also going to entice more people and qualify them up front if you're letting them know, hey, here's what I'm going to be posting about. And that can be anything. We had a webinar last month, maybe, I think, just about social media, like what you should be posting on social media. And we kind of introduced our Social Media Shares Premium program there. There's a lot of ideas that we went into detail with that webinar about what you could be posting.
Yeah,
and
so,
then,
yeah, you talk about, I was just going to say, you want to talk about this free resource for the language, because I think this is where people get tripped up when it comes to Facebook. It seems super complicated. It seems like it is something that you don't understand. There's language such as CPRs and CTRs and all that stuff. And just tell them a little bit about this so they have this when they're watching back to the webinar.
Yeah, so this is just a little bit of a preface because we're about to get into details. All right, so we've been talking a little bit about just social media in general and why you should be using it, but now we're actually going to start setting up some ads as we go through the 3 types of ads that you should be running for your business. We're going to go through setting up 2 of those. So we're going to start seeing some metrics and some acronyms that might seem a little bit confusing at first if you've never done it before, but we're going to send out this free resource after the webinar. It's more, it says Facebook ad terminology. It's really more of just digital marketing terminology that we'll be sending out after the webinar. So we wanted to preface that with that. And then to kind of get into it now, we'll talk about the 3 Facebook ads that you need to be running.
Yeah, so we want to go over 3 different ads. Now, this is not an all-encompassing of your Facebook ads, and there's more ads out there that you can potentially run, but what Josh and I tried to do is we tried to think about this in terms of our own business and what the ads we're running in our own business, and what's that way we're practicing what we're preaching and all that good stuff, and where we've seen results, then the agents that we've worked with, and try to summarize it in a category so you know, okay, what type of ads am I trying to run? So we're going to go over a branding ad, which is pretty self-explanatory, a product ad. So for us, our product ad would be like showcasing American Lifestyle magazine. And so we have a lot of ads running right now that showcase our magazine, and then a lead magnet ad. We're going to get into the details there, but the lead magnet ad is where you're delivering something of value in exchange for information from that potential prospect. So let's start with the branding ad. In a branding ad, here's what I will say about Facebook, and we'll get into this when we get into the follow-up. Facebook is really, really powerful for branding. And a lot of times people, because they know the quality of the leads they get through their Facebook ads, they discredit the value they're getting from the Facebook ads just from a branding perspective. And here's why I know that. Like I even have the ad of my brother up there. So that's his real estate team now. You guys hear me talk about him all the time. Well, one of the things that really, really helped him in the beginning was he had a holistic approach to how we targeted his community. And what I mean by holistic is, you know, he uses the magazine, he puts it in high traffic areas, he sends it to his database. Then what he would also do is he would be running constantly a branding ad to his local market that got his face in front of people. And what he found was, if you've heard me share the story before, because people were seeing him in the mail, and they were seeing him on Facebook. And then when he would get a listing, he'd do these mega open houses. What that turned into is he would literally have omnipresence, where he would walk into a bank and the bank teller knew who he was, knew his name. His friends in the beginning, so any new agents, this is hopefully an encouragement to you, his friends in the beginning would make fun of him because his face was everywhere as a real estate agent. But now, guess what? Those same friends that are making fun of him are actually asking him.
How do I do that?
So he actually shared that the other day with a podcast, that the people that made fun of him are now asking him. And that's the power of consistency. We'll talk about that a little bit. But a branding ad on Facebook is super powerful because of the cost. The cost that you actually, for the impressions that you get is super, super effective. Literally for $5, $10 a day, you can reach like 1,000 people, 1,200 people, and they're seeing you consistently. And that holistic approach, where they're seeing you on your coffee table, they log in on their phone, they're seeing you on the phone, it builds that mind share. And the game I always play with people when I'm talking about mind share is this: when I say electric cars, who do all of you think of right now? If I say electric cars, who do you think of? And I guarantee you, if I asked you to chat in right now, all of you would be going Elon Musk, Tesla. Why? Well, because he's built that brand. That's what's really been solidified in your mind, that when you think Elon Musk, you think Tesla, you think electric cars. And so for Steven, or for your real estate business, you're trying to do the same, that they think of real estate synonymous with your name. So Josh, if you want to go into, we're going to show you guys how to actually do a branding ad in the interface here. So Josh, you can pull that up.
Yeah, so I'm actually, and sorry, you're going to be looking at like the 3/4 shot of my face or the side of my face for this. I've got my big monitor that's sharing the screen on there. So hopefully you guys can all see our social media shares here. So I pulled up 2 pages here. I've got Luke's profile. This is his business page right here. And then I've got our social media shares premium. So if you're a client of ours, you have this for free right now until May 31st. So this is something that we've done for everybody. For just what's going on right now. We know some of you guys are unsure of what's happening in your business or looking for more resources to connect with your clients. So Luke wanted to give this to all of our clients for free through the end of May. And just some clarity from that, because I know some people are skeptical of businesses whenever they give things away for free. It's not something that's going to auto renew and you'll get billed for on June 1st. We hope that you see the value and want to continue using it, and you certainly have the option to do so at the end of all of this. But I just wanted to add some clarity there. You have it for free right now. So if you log into your account manager and then you go to social media shares on the sidebar, you're going to see our post library. The contact block here is where you're going to set up all of your contact information. We did a whole demo on this. We won't get too deep into it. I'm just using it as an example for this one. But we did a whole demo on this last month. But you can set up your message, your contact info, and then this is what it's going to look like on your branded blog post. So we're actually going to take one of those blog posts, because there's a lot of different branding type ads that you can do. You can do a branding ad all about your team. You can do a branding ad all about you, and then you can boost that post. But this one specifically, we're going to take a valuable piece of content and we are going to brand that for, we're going to boost that to our clients right now during this time. So what I actually have here is, let me pull this over here, because I'm going to go into the real estate category, and I'm going to look at buying and selling. And I don't know if it's on this page. Let me search for it. I have it up here, need real estate agent. Here we go. Why you need a real estate agent. Okay, so we're actually going to take this post, and here's all you have to do. Click on that link from your account manager, assuming you have your contact information set up. It's going to be branded to you. We're going to take this link, copy it, post this on our professional, on our business page first. So we paste that link in there. Facebook is going to get the preview from the blog image. Okay, so here's what it looks like, why you need a real estate agent. I'm then going to delete that link because we don't need to keep that link in the post anymore because it's already here linked out from the image. I'm going to take some copy that I created ahead of time. Now I had to put this little disclaimer here because I didn't want people to think that Luke all of a sudden was a real estate agent. Yeah, we'll get him there. So we've got this going up. All right, this is a post for why you need a real estate agent. Here's just a little bit of copy that I wrote real quick. Take note of some of the formatting now. I wouldn't go to this length for every single thing that you post, but whenever you're putting money behind something, you want it to catch people's attention. So this is why I added some emojis to the copy, maybe using some caps locks here and there just to kind of call people's attention to it. Here's a really powerful kind of subconscious thing, subliminal tip. Tell people to tag someone that needs to read this. It'll help them with the next action that you want them to take. We've actually seen a lot of success with real estate agents doing that. And then from here, we're going to post this to our news feed. We'll just share now. And now here's my post. When I click this link, it's going to still have my branded blog post here. So now I'm going to put some money behind this. Click boost post. Facebook makes it very easy to spend money on Facebook. So I remember whenever this feature came out, it's so tempting. You want to boost everything. It's almost like that impulse buy at the grocery store. And they'll even tell you like, hey, this post is doing 90% better than all your other posts. You should boost it. So this is what this is going to look like whenever you go to boost your account. I'm going to choose our ReminderMedia account. This is the account you would use to pay for it. Different goals that you can optimize for here. Now, what I would recommend in the beginning and what we've been doing with our clients here is we're actually boosting to get more engagement. So naturally, as a marketer, I want to get website visitors and leads, but we don't have that audience yet, right? We're still building our page. We're still finding people that are interacting, and we want the cheapest cost per engagement here. So if you're boosting for people to visit your website, it's probably going to be more expensive to get them to your website than to get them to engage with your post. But right here, I'm going to choose get more engagement. My button's going to be learn more because we want people to learn more about this article that we posted. Special ad category. I am going to select this, and we're going to talk a little bit about this later, but there are anything with housing, credit, employment does fall into a special ad category for Facebook, which limits some of your targeting. So I'm going to turn that on. And then what I will do there is set my audience to be my geographic location. So I can't mess with gender and age when I'm in a special ad category because that could be considered discriminatory. So I'm just going to do my location, and we're in King of Prussia. And then Facebook gives you this option to make it as wide, as far, or as short as you want within, it can't be less than 15 miles. Now for Luke, if I go 15 miles, I think that might put us into Philadelphia. So I don't quite want to be into Philadelphia. I want to back that off. Oh, I can't do that on there. I can on, if I didn't have special ad category on, I could go down to 10 miles, but I'm going to have to include Philadelphia in that, which is okay. Detailed targeting, there's nothing else really that we want to add here. We want to let Facebook do all of the work, okay? Facebook wants to get us results because it wants us to keep paying for its services. So I know a lot of people, the temptation is, oh no, I know how to target better than Facebook. I would say if you've been running ads for a year and you've got this thing figured out down to a science, I would agree with you. But for the most part, we've been doing Facebook ads for over 5 years. We've spent millions of dollars on it, and we still let Facebook do the majority, if not sometimes all of the work for us. Once we get that set, we can save our audience. We can put in a budget of $10. This ad's going to run for 5 days. You can see some of our estimated results here. This is where you would set your budget and your days, and then you would simply click Boost Now, and that's going to send that out to everybody that Facebook thinks will engage with it in the King of Prussia area.
One of the things I would say, Josh, just to point out to make sure everybody's kind of connecting the dots in their marketing. So, some of you, I think, do your farming through us with your postcards and stuff like that. So imagine this is a perfect opportunity. So the postcard you have being sent out. So let's say it's a COVID-19 resource postcard that we've just created for you, and that's going out to your farm. Well, the same branding type value add that you're giving on Facebook, you can try to target that same area, if that makes sense. That's not going to be exact because Facebook is limited as time has gone on, but that's kind of connecting the dots of the same people who are seeing the mailer through the mail are now seeing you online with a valuable piece of content as well, and it's kind of connecting that holistic dot.
Yeah, some people are asking what's the difference between copying and pasting the link versus just clicking the Facebook icon in the interface. So this is when I click the Facebook interface or icon from my interface, I can't choose. It wants to post to my personal profile. But I want to do this to Luke's business page because I'm managing his business page, and the interface doesn't give me the option to do that. I won't say that it won't give you the option. Facebook has different things. I mean, it sounds crazy, but they actually have different interfaces all the time that they're testing. So what I was able to do is I just took the link from the post, pasted it in there, and that allowed me to post directly to his business page because that's a page that I manage. Another person was asking $10 total or $10 a day. So this is total. So it'll spend about $2 a day, or basically Facebook will use it as it best sees fit over the course of those 5 days. And then
so people do a cup of coffee a day. Like if you're just getting started, I remember, working with an agent, they did $5 a day. That's what they felt comfortable with. And at that time, this is a little lower in the King of Prussia one. At that time, it was like 1,000 to 1,200 people they were reaching. So it's going to be different depending on where you're at.
Yeah.
And obviously the users on Facebook and all that good stuff.
And then I wanted to show you, like, this isn't just theory or an idea that we had. We've been testing this stuff for a long time. We just recently ran this one for another agent. This was a recipe that we posted because people are home right now. They're looking for new recipes to make. So it's adding value, but it's adding value from you, which is why it's associated with your brand. So we call it a branding ad, and there's a lot of different ways that you can think about that. You can think about it as branding yourself as the professional, or you can think of it as sort of this massive reach, this more reach than you would get organically, where you're branded, bringing the value as a professional. So this one right here, you can look at all of your results that you can track in Facebook. We spent $10 a day. Our bid strategy was lowest cost. We optimized for post engagements, so that's what's listed as the results. We had 136 post engagements from that. Just put that in comparison with the engagements that you get from your organic posts right now if you're on Facebook. So when you see these numbers, think about that. Cost per result, so we've paid 7 cents per engagement. We reached 2,124 people. Again, I'm looking at this line right here, 2,124 people with 2,961 impressions. So impressions is every time that ad loads, that boosted post loads. Reach are the unique individuals who saw it. So the frequency was 1.39. People saw it 1.39 on average. We had 164 clicks to our branded blog post. That's 164 people that went to a page that has a call to action button on it that asks them to contact me, right? So there's a huge opportunity there if you're making that call to action button compelling. So our cost per click was 6 cents. Cost per 1,000 impressions is another marketing metric that is used a lot. $3.38 per impression. So again, this is in comparison to all of your other options that you have out there in your marketing. If you're doing postcards, if you're running a billboard, you're looking at probably a $40 CPM versus a $3 CPM on a site like Facebook. And then that's about 1/3 of a cent, I think it comes out to per person that actually sees that post.
And we'll talk about this, Josh, at the probably nearer towards the end, but those 136 or whatever that was of engagement, there's a perfect opportunity now for you to reach out to that person and to engage and interact with that person, the people who like your posts and the stuff like that. And remember, the key is it's not in a branding ad, it's about building the mind share. And you got to understand, like when I coach, a lot of times my sales team, I go, look, when McDonald's runs a commercial on TV, they don't expect you to grab your wallet, run out the door to the closest McDonald's and go, man, I just saw the Big Mac commercial, give me a Big Mac. They're hoping that when you're driving down the road a couple days later and you get hungry, that McDonald's commercial pops into your mind. And so it's a little bit of the same type of methodology there that you have to buy into. And I love sharing that with people is because if you don't have the proper expectations and go into it with the right focus, you're going to slowly spin your way out of the business, which is what this next slide is all about. Is people will do one post and then they'll stop. And that's one of the detriments to marketing is that you can't do things usually one time and get great results. There's hardly anything in life you can do one time and get great results. You have to do things consistently, and that's really the key to your posting, both organically and on your boosted posts.
Yeah, a lot of great questions coming in right now. So I love to take these kind of in real time because they're so relevant. Mike is asking, day, is that a 24-hour period or calendar day? So for the boosted post, that's a 24-hour period, right? There is, if you get into ads, so there's a difference between boosting posts and running ads, which we're going to get into. But if you do get into running ads, because he's asking specifically for open houses, you can do what's called day parting, which allows you to run an ad during a certain period of time. One thing to think about, though, is when it comes to the boosted posts, like you're only going to get charged when someone sees that post. So even if it's running 24 hours and they see it at 3 a.m. in the morning, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to spend if there aren't people on Facebook or showing that post to them. So that was a good question. But this is really what Luke was talking about in terms of consistency being everything. You look at a post about a recipe, or you look at a post that we just shared, and you might go, yeah, but where are the leads? Where's the ROI? And the reality is the ROI of a single post is zero, but having a comprehensive social media presence is priceless. And this is where you want to make sure that you are consistently adding value and rotating out what you're posting. So I wouldn't post that blog post for a month unless it was performing extremely well and I'm hitting new people all the time, but I would be rotating out that content. And it's important to choose content that you think the people that you want to work with, or that you think the people that would be likely to follow you will want to see, because Facebook, once it starts seeing people interact with that content, it's going to be more likely to show more of that content to them from you later, and it'll find other people like them also.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to get into this later, or if this is just a sub point that people should know, is that Facebook will also, when you're choosing your audience, like we chose by geographic location, but you can upload a audience, a custom audience to Facebook. So this is powerful if you think about your sphere and you're like, man, I really want to target my sphere. You can, if you have their database, right, you have a database of theirs and their email addresses, Facebook will try to go find them on Facebook for you. You can create that custom audience, and then you can run branding advertisements to your custom sphere that Facebook finds on their platform. So it's just a way to, again, enhance this holistic approach. One time's not going to really do you that much, but as people are seeing you consistently over and over again, that's what turns into the actual results. Because if you're consistently in front of somebody with value and then education, you build trust, and trust leads to people wanting to use you. That's the key.
So we actually have a blog post, how to create an effective branded ad. This will be recorded, so a lot of people chatting in, hey, you're going fast, will this be recorded? We do have a lot to cover today, so I know I'm probably going through it a little bit quick. But we also have a blog post. If you go to remindermedia.com/blog and search for how to create an effective branded Facebook ad, we have that up there as a resource for you as well.
All right, so the next ad that we'll go over is product-based ads. So Josh talked a little bit about, because I think there was a question of open houses, how you can boost an ad, for that day and stuff for your open house. But product-based ads, the way Josh and I think about this is our products like the magazine, or our social media platform, our digital edition of the magazine. So we're running product-based ads there. Your product is the house, right? So you have things like your open houses, boosting your listings. One of the things that Steven, my brother, did in his early years, and still does it to this day, but I want to share it with you because it was really powerful, is he would film a video of each listing. So he got a local videographer, and he would pay him, I think, $200 or $150 per listing, and he would run that listing on Facebook. And what he found was, and what we found was doing it, is he would get a bunch of people that would comment in the comments of interested, wanting to know if it was available, wanting to know when they could see it. So he would get a bunch of buyer potential leads. But more importantly than that, from the product base, specifically for real estate agents, that I wasn't even thinking, and this ties into the branding ad, it really helped him close future listings. And so I want you guys to know, like, when you're running your product base, you're listing and you're doing beautiful pictures and spending, $150, $200 on that video, when you run that, what it is all the other people are thinking about listing are seeing you do that. So one, they see that you're active. Two, they see how you're marketing. And a lot of times that is what convinces them to go with you, because they go, oh man, I see how you've been marketing that listing. I see how active you are. In fact, this translated to Steven actually getting it, I call it a deal, but a relationship with a builder and developer in the area. And the developer literally told him, I've been watching you for the last couple of years of how you hustle and how you market your properties. So I share that with you so you know the intangible value that you're building when you're boosting your listings, let alone that you will get comments of people wanting to see that listing. And then the one we have up on screen here, because we're not going to go into building the product ad for you guys, we're going to move on to the third ad. But the one you see up on the screen has been super successful for the agents that we've worked with. And it's really, really simple. You see here, Lynchburg homes for under $300,000. So you can choose your number if you want it to be 450,000, if you want it to be 200,000. And we ran this ad, and you will be blown away by the amount of people who comment to get that list. And the beautiful thing about that is it's a perfect follow-up call, because you're going into your MLS, you're downloading, you're getting that list of all the $300,000 properties available and under, and you're sending it to them. But you get a follow-up through a call or through a text message video, and you get to make sure, hey, I know I sent you a lot of properties. I can segment it down a little bit more for you if you want. What exactly were you looking for? Did you actually find what you were looking and hoping to see in that document? So it's a really good opportunity to set you up for a follow-up call, which gets you offline into a face-to-face conversation, which ultimately, if it's a listing, you want to go obviously to that person's house. But if it's a buyer, you want to get them out showing them houses, because at that point you've earned them as a client. And so this ad right here, super simple, homes under a certain value, and post that. You can choose the value, and all you're doing is getting people to comment, getting people to subscribe, and you send them that list, and now you have their email address to be able to send them that list. You can require their phone number, and then you can give a follow-up, which we'll talk about at the end.
Yeah, man, there are so many questions coming in. I want to answer, because it's all in real time. It's super relevant to what we're talking about. We've got someone asking. I've always heard it's better to run a paid ad versus boosting a post, and I've seen a lot of these. Boosting is less effective than running it from Ads Manager. We're seeing a lot of those types of questions come in. I would say, in general, you 100%. If you are optimizing for leads and you have all of that set up with your CRM, which is what we're about to get into, 100%. What we found is twofold. Number one, it's a little less expensive to boost just when we're going for engagement. Okay. Number two, though, the benefits of that is you are having that on your Facebook feed organically, and then you are boosting it. So people coming to your feed will see, if you're getting a ton of reactions because you've spent money behind a post, they're going to see that, oh my goodness, this person's getting a ton of reactions. Like, it's going to create a trust signal in their mind. If you run it strictly as an ad, that does not appear on your feed. All right, that only appears, you can only find that by going to Facebook ads library and looking up your specific page. So that's why we wanted to show that one first. But 100%, if you're generating leads and you don't want it to appear on your personal page or your business page as an organic post, that would be what you would want to do. Just a couple of changes, because this is coming in as questions as well about the housing policies. In 2019, Facebook did make some changes. Prior to that, it was kind of the wild, wild west in terms of advertising and what you could market on. You used to be able to market extremely specific. You could do zip code not only, but you could do a block. Like you could market to a block of people or a street address. They have had to change that based on Fair Housing Act. And really, you guys all remember the news stories and Congress getting involved and Zuckerberg going to Capitol Hill and all that stuff. And this is really related into some regulations in terms of, and Facebook has self-regulated themselves to make sure that they're not allowing people to do anything that would violate the Fair Housing Act or violate RESPA. So basically what that means is you can't target by gender, you can't target by age, you can't target by zip code, you can't target based on anything that might be discriminatory. So that's what some of those changes have been made. Facebook is not very helpful in explaining exactly what they've removed or how they do this. But they do have some guidelines out there that you can actually click through and just Google Facebook ad policy for housing that you can kind of get a better idea of there.
I see a question real quick before we move on to the lead magnet ad, which is, what do you mean by organic post? So organic post is when you're just naturally posting on your Facebook page and you're not putting money behind it. And what Josh's point was with the boosted post is that when you boost one, it's first a post that's organic on your page. And when you boost that, all the interaction that comes from now you putting money behind it will stay and live on your page. And the value there, we've seen this from a marketing perspective for our own business, is engagement creates more engagement. And it elevates you. And I've always used the example of, like, if Tony Robbins showed up and only 4 people, liked his post, or 4 people showed up to hear him speak, even though the knowledge is just as good, it feels kind of weird. It's like, oh, maybe this guy isn't as trustworthy, or maybe this isn't as good. And so boosting your organic post at first is a way for you to showcase, hey, people are engaging with me. I'm popular, for lack of a better way of saying it, and people want to work with people they feel are popular. They feel they look up to. They feel that it's a trust signal, as Josh says. All right, so the lead magnet ad. So this is my favorite ad. So the lead magnet ad is the ad where you are giving or offering someone value, but in order for them to get that value, they have to put in their information. And so that lead magnet is just that. You want to present something to them that they want to request, so you can get information like their email address, their phone number, to create a lead for you to start nurturing and start working. So one of the most popular ones, so actually on the product ad, when I talked about that list of homes, that's could be considered a lead magnet, where they have to enter in their information for you to send them this list of homes for 300,000 or less. But we put it in the product category because it is, your products. But think about like a CMA, a free comparative market analysis. People can request, that's an ad we ran just to test and see, people can request a free CMA of what their home is worth, but they have to enter in their email address or phone number, because you want to work out or send it out to them and follow up with them for a custom, kind of conversation around what their home is worth. So Josh is going to walk you through now kind of how to build out a lead magnet ad in Facebook's ad manager.
All right, so this is where we're going into. So we've got our campaigns page right here in Facebook Ads Manager. And the way you would do this is you would just go to business.facebook.com, and then you would have your business pages there. You do have to set up your ads manager as well, because it needs to set up with all of your payment information and make sure that you're connecting your ads manager to your business page. But all we'll do is, there's 3 sets to every ad. There's the campaign. The campaign is where you're setting your optimization and your budget. You've got your ad set where you're setting your schedule and your demographic or your audience. And then you've got the ad itself, which is the actual creative that people see. This is the most powerful part of Facebook ads. So we talked about boosting. This is really where the power comes in for generating leads for your business. And Facebook has made it incredibly easy over the years, where you don't have to be a web wizard to be able to figure this out. They actually have lead forms baked right into Facebook, because they don't want people to leave the platform either, that you can set up. So I'm going to set this up. And before we start, I'm actually going to show you what I will set up. So we are going to set up a lead magnet, which will be a free ebook on why a first-time home buyer's guide, right? So I'm actually going to get this from our resources library here.
So all of our clients
tab.
have this resource library. I just want to make sure that's clear for everybody who's watching.
So we've got this post right here, lead magnet, a guide to buying your first home. I'm in my my library, so I don't have to fill in my my email or anything to download this. I can just straight download it. This is then going to give me this PDF. Now I'm going to keep this up here because I'm going to use this URL later, but I'll also download this PDF to my computer so that I can grab a screenshot of it, okay? So then we head back over here to Ads Manager. We're going to call this buyers leads because obviously as a lead magnet or for first-time home buyers, we're looking for buyers here, probably not sellers. Again, we're going to check special ad category because now we are focusing on our, look, I'm going to take a step back. You can try and do it without checking special ad category. And I mean, good luck. Who knows if it'll get through or not? I saw someone saying, you know, even in the comments, I've been boosting or I've been running ads for Facebook for years and things are getting rejected the last few months. And if you don't have special ad category on there and you even mention the word real estate, we don't have anything to do with selling real estate or promoting real estate. Our audience are real estate agents, and our ads get rejected constantly. We have to put them through for manual review, which means we're actually submitting a request to Facebook to have a human go and look at this ad and approve it for us because the computers saw the words real estate and what we were targeting demographically, and they would reject it. So you can try it, make sure that you're playing fair, but most of the time you're probably going to have to click on special ad category if you see that your ad isn't getting approved or it gets approved and then gets rejected from Facebook. Auction type is what we're going to be using because it's any Facebook, Google ads, pretty much an auction. You're bidding against other advertisers. And then for the campaign objective for this one, we are going to do lead generation because we want to use Facebook's lead form. Now, if you have your own website and your own ClickFunnels or your own form set up where you're collecting leads and you want to get into that part of it, that's where you can do conversions, which will actually be website conversions on your page. But for this one right here, we're going to keep everything on the Facebook platform and choose lead generation. We'll do a budget of, let's say, $10 a day. You can also choose to do a lifetime budget, and then you can tell Facebook for how long to run it for, but we're going to do $10 a day and see what kind of results we get. For our ad set then, this is where we are going to do, let's see, buyer lead magnets, because we might want to set up a ton of different lead magnets as creative, but this will be all buyer lead magnets. And then I'm going to choose our profile here to do it from. I've already accepted the terms. If you haven't accepted the terms, you'll have to click that. A little pop-up pops up, just click accept terms. And then our ad name is going to be First Time Home Buyers ebook. All right, we'll save to draft. That's going to load up our ad here within Facebook Ads Manager. You can see we've got some yellow or some red exclamation points. That just means because we haven't completed it yet, but everything is in draft right now. Nothing has been posted. Over here, you can see what we just set up in that previous page. And then there's navigation here that takes you to your ad set and ultimately your ad, or you can go over here and click edit under each one of these moving through. We will just go to our ad set, which is where we will set up our audience. And then Luke, any questions that you see that come in, because some of this stuff takes a minute to load, feel free to holler them out or grab them. For our audience, we are going to do the same thing. We're going to target based off of location. So we'll do King of Prussia. This is where, if we weren't doing housing, we could do some really cool stuff with audiences. One of the most powerful features that Facebook has is lookalike audiences. That means that you can upload a list of your best clients and then go tell Facebook to find people that look like them. But Facebook has tweaked that a little bit for housing ads or for these special ad categories, where if you click this create new under audiences, you're going to see a custom audience or a special ad audience. Custom audience is what you could use if you already have a ton of website traffic data or people that have interacted with your business already. Special ad audience is what you would want to do if you're uploading a custom list and doing lookalike. It's basically the same thing as lookalike audience, but they stripped out the data points that you can't target as a housing ad. So they've stripped out age, gender, zip code, and anything else that could be considered discriminatory there. But it's still something to play around with. I mean, we always start broad, and that's what we're doing now. We're just going geographic around a single point of on the map, and letting Facebook do the work. But as you work through it, like test, try new things, grow your budget slowly. So we're starting with $10 a day, but if this works for me, I might want to go to $15 a day. Now I wouldn't go from 10 to $50 a day because Facebook won't know what it's doing with that new spend. It'll try and spend faster than it can think, but just grow like gradually. We typically do 25%, increase your budget 25%, let that run and optimize for a few days, increase your budget for 25% until you see like your CPA not be what you want to pay anymore.
Josh, how long do we tend to let our ads run before, if like, because we post ads all the time, and if we get an ad that's going and it's not quite working for us, how much time will we give it before we pull it down?
If it's not working, after a certain amount of time?
Yeah, meaning like if we feel like because I know the question is probably on a lot of people's minds, is if I start posting this, should I give it 2 days and then I pull it down?
I mean, with Facebook, we used to do a week. Now I think it's gotten to the point where it's good enough where if it's not performing within 3 days, we're trying different creative or we're trying different audience. If it's a brand new audience that we've never used before, we might give it longer because Facebook's trying to find that. But if it's a piece of creative to an existing audience that we've already had success with and we know what our CPL, which is your cost per lead, should be, a few days.
That's a great point actually you're making right there, which is as you do more Facebook ads, you'll get a feel for how your ads perform, which will give you a good benchmark for the new ads you create. Because obviously your point of the new audience. We got a bunch of questions on people asking, is this recorded? Can assistant watch it is recorded? It's definitely recorded. So it will be sent out to everybody just so you have it.
So when you're looking at placements, again, we recommend doing automatic placements. Facebook is going to put this where it thinks people are most likely to take action. You can click manual placements to see everywhere where it will be posting your ad. So you can see it'll go in the news feed, it'll go into Instagram, it will go into stories. And we can uncheck these or if we wanted to have complete control over it. But I would always start with automatic, see the results. Facebook will actually show you all of those metrics by platform. So you can judge for yourself if you wanted to tell Facebook to not post on a certain platform, but start off with automatic and go from there. We are optimizing for leads, and our cost control is always lowest cost bid strategy. It's going to try and spend our entire budget to get the most leads using the lowest cost. Estimated daily results, we're looking at a reach from anywhere, it's pretty wide range, but anywhere from 500 to 1,200 people, and then leads anywhere from 2 to 12 leads a day with this budget of $10. So we're looking, hopefully we'll be getting about $1 CPL would be our goal here for people downloading this. Then we set up our creative, okay? So we've got our budget set, we've got our audience set. Now we're going to set up the actual ad itself. So this is where you will need an image and you will need creative. So copy and images is what you're going to need for this part. We are actually going to, I'll show you a real quick trick because some people, let me see if I can pull up our PDF of this home buyer's guide. So I'll actually load this right here because if you don't have access to stock imagery, now you can always use free stock images, okay? So what you would want to do is search for, in Google, search for CC0, stands for Creative Commons 0 images. That means that there are no licensing restrictions on it, okay? Creative Commons there's still some business restrictions on it, but CC0 means you can use it for commercial use, you can manipulate the photo, you can enhance the photo, you can do whatever you want to it. You don't have to add any, there's no copyright information to add to that. A couple sites that are good for that, Pexels, we'll include these, I think, in the follow-up email, but PEXELS.com. Pixabay is another one. So there's a lot of different free sites that you can do. But another thing you can do is just take your ebook, make this image as large as possible on your screen so you can take a nice screenshot of it. If you're on a Mac, it's Command-Shift-4. If you're on a PC, it's Windows-Shift-S. That'll bring up this little cursor. You can just take a nice screenshot of that, and that now can become your image for your ad. So we will upload a single image for this one. Change image. I've already uploaded this one in our account. And then the cool thing here is if you look over here, it's actually going to show you what it'll look like in a feed. Like this would be an Instagram feed where the ratio is 1:1. It's a square. Stories is going to be a little taller, more vertical. And then you've got the horizontal image. All right, and then the next thing after we have our image is we are going to want to put our text in here. So I have some copy already written for this. We're going to focus this all around buying your home for the first time, okay? We're trying to qualify people here. We don't want just anybody downloading this. That's not going to help us in the long run. We want people that are actually in the home buying or the first time home buying process. Maybe it's even people that have already purchased a home once, but it's been so long that they need a refresher. Had some more copy here to add. Then we need our headline. And we're going to leave out the description. There's not much of a description to add here. We're really trying to drive people with the copy, the image, and the headline. And we'll leave out the display link. Now, if we were advertising our site or taking people to our website, I would recommend using a display link. But for this, we're keeping people on Facebook to download the guide straight from Facebook. So for that reason, our call to action will be download. And then this is now what you're going to see your post will look like.
We have some people asking if they can use the images that we're using in the ebook. Yes, you definitely can. So if you're a client of ReminderMedia, you'll have that in your resource library.
Yes.
So
this is what our post will look like. Now we need to create where this button goes. Okay, so like I said, if you have a website and you already have the ability to collect leads on there, you might do conversions and send them to your website. For us, we're going to create a lead form where Facebook's actually going to capture the leads for us. So our form type we're going to set up as more volume. If you can, and I was talking to our ads manager earlier today, just to kind of get his thoughts on this as well. His advice was really start off doing more volume. So if you haven't started this process or you've never boosted for leads before or ran ads for leads, do more volume first. Then as you're getting the results that you want to see and you're building that database and you're following up with those leads, which we'll talk about, if you realize, man, I really need to qualify people better up front, then you might want to do higher intent. But if you choose higher intent, you're probably not going to get as many leads and your cost per lead will probably go up. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're first starting out. For your intro, this is what people will see. See on the right-hand side here, once they click that download button, this is what people will see on Facebook. So I will just put a simple intro in here. Again, any copy that you can include that will encourage people to continue with the action.
a lot of people are asking, Josh, if we'll include the copy in the download. So I don't see any problem with that. We can put together, if we don't have it already, we can put together kind of a cheat sheet of the copy we're throwing in here for people and what we've used. So if we don't have that already, we can put that together for you guys that are on.
So I'm going to include the same screenshot that I did for my ad right here for the lead form. And again, you can make this a different screenshot if you have something that you think would be more compelling, or just to mix it up and keep it interesting for the people working through this process. So that's it for my copy portion. Now I need to set up the form portion. So the cool thing about lead ads and why Facebook did this is because they can autofill information from the user's profile. So no longer do you have to sit there and type in your name, a dozen times into different forms and fill out your email address and type in your phone number and everything. It will autofill the information that it has for the people that are coming through the leads ads from their Facebook profile. So right here, defaults to full name and email. I could add, I probably want to add phone number to this. You would just want to test it out. You would want to see if I add phone number, do I get less leads? Mm-hmm. Or if I put my phone number on, or if I take my phone number off, do I get less contacts, right? Because you're probably going to be more likely to get the contact if you pick up the phone versus email people as a follow-up. You can also put in these custom questions. Cool thing about this is once you get to the point where you really want to start qualifying your leads, you can do something as unique as saying, when are you looking to buy? This will then add in an additional question that people can answer. You can say 6 months, 9 months, whatever the frequency or the cadence there that you would want to select. And then when people are filling out their form, they can choose this, and this will let you continue to qualify and then segment out these leads based on the information that they're providing you. But we're going to delete that one for now. Privacy policy, this is something that you have to add. Typically, a link to your website will cover this. So you would just want to put your website in here, and that would cover that. And then the thank you screen is the page that people get to once they filled out the form. This right here is the button that we will set up to download that PDF. So we'll just leave this example text in here for now. Our button type will be download because we're offering an ebook. We'll come back to our ebook. This is why I wanted to keep this up, because I need this link now. I can copy that. Now, if you have email marketing automation set up and you want the lead to come to there and then you send this back to them through email, that's okay. Or if you have a website where you want to house this resource and take them there, that's okay. But we're just going the easiest way. We're assuming you don't have any of this. So you can just copy this link, go back to your ads manager, paste that in there. And then change my button text to download PDF. And that is it. Let me let this load real quick. Oh, I have to put my description in there. I thought it was going to let me do my sample, and I'll just say sample for now. All right, and then just scrolling down through the rest of the options, our instant form has been set up. Tracking we're going to ignore, because Facebook Pixel is what you would install on your website to let Facebook know that someone has visited your website. So if you have access to your website code, it's a simple piece of code that you put into your header file. But if you don't have access to that, you don't want to get into that, that's fine. We don't need that right now. App event, offline events, we don't need. We will then hit publish, and it will take a while to publish. So just hit publish, let it run. It'll notify you whenever it's done. Come back in and check in. It might even sit in review for a little bit. With COVID-19 going on right now, Facebook is sending out messages to everybody that it might take longer to review, but it shouldn't be too bad. We've seen anything from 5 minutes, to some of our other ads. If we have like video or something in there, they might take a little bit longer, but these things should be pretty simple to get reviewed and approved. Then the last thing I just wanted to show, because the question is, well, what happens with all of these leads? So all of these leads are going to be pulled into your Facebook Ads Manager. So this is an example of what we're running. We have some COVID-19 resources that we've been boosting recently. These are our results from today. If I click this on Facebook leads link, this is where I can download these leads as a CSV file or an Excel file. What we would recommend is get your, if you use a CRM, if you're not using a CRM, use a CRM. But if you're using a CRM, you can actually connect your CRM to Facebook Ads Manager. And if you don't know how to do that, just contact them. Just about every commercial CRM out there has the ability to connect to your Facebook Ads Manager. You can then pass leads directly from Ads Manager into your CRM. And then from there, you can decide what your CRM should do about them, if it should launch a follow-up call, if it should send a text message, however you're handling the follow-up, which is what we'll get into a little bit there. But definitely make sure that you're connecting these to your CRM, because you don't want to go into Facebook every day and download an XLS and try and import them into your CRM separately. If you have nothing, do that. But if you've got your CRM, make sure you're connecting that.
Yeah, a bunch of questions here. Somebody was asking, will they automatically receive the download after they enter the contact info? That's where Josh set up that download button. So yeah, they'll be able to get the download. One of the questions was, and I can't seem to get back to it because there's so many questions, but Instagram. So this will show on Facebook. Will it also show on Instagram? Someone's asking.
Yes. So that was found under the in our ad set when we were looking at location placements. So automatic placements is recommended. If I look at manual placements, this is Instagram is checked here. And it even shows you if you hover over these, like if you can see that. I know I'm going fast, but that's what it'll look like within your Instagram feed. It will also show it in Instagram Explorer. And then the other place would be Instagram Stories. So you can see the image here on the right is updating as I hover over these. That's what it would look like in Instagram Stories. And it'll include that copy that you put in there on there. You can even get as tricky as managing like the color of the background above and below your ad. There's crazy stuff that you can do in here. So play around with it, but kind of from a default settings perspective, if you haven't run an ad before, try what we did there from a default settings perspective. And then from there, you can kind of tweak and play with it. This is from years of testing different things in Facebook and where we've landed recommending to people.
Yeah, it's I would just encourage everybody, like these two ads, like I said at the beginning, this is not an all-encompassing. There's so many ways you could tweak this to test it and do A/B testing on the copy, on the images, on all that stuff. But these are some simplistic things that we've tested and seen success with, and hopefully makes it super easy that you don't need a website landing page. You don't need a bunch of info. You have resources in your client interface through us that you can use to literally just start testing these ads, and you'll get the benefit of branding on this. And I just want to encourage people, don't underestimate that, but don't waste your money, obviously. So don't waste money spending. So that's the lead magnet ad. Josh and I are super curious to hear, if you want to go to the next slide, Josh, we want to hear if you guys would be interested in having us run some of your ads for you. So it's something that we do, like Josh has said, we've spent millions over the years doing Facebook ads ourselves. We have, I have select clients that we do Facebook ads for because we're not, typically our focus has always been on, the magazine and digital edition and stuff like that. But we're getting more and more requests all day for people, us helping people with their Facebook ads. So if you are interested in having us run your ads for you, we want to know, and we want you to claim an early access. And anybody who is interested that wants to claim early access, we're going to be doing a pilot program where we're basically going to be doing it extremely cost effective at cost for you guys pretty much. And that gives us a chance to prove to you that, hey, we're doing stuff that works, that drives revenue for you. And so if you're interested, you would go to remindermedia.com/FB early access. And don't you want Josh's brain?
No, dude, I'm loving this. Crystal's saying, "Mama needs that." LOL. A lot of people chatting in.
So Josh has a whole team under. How many people do you have? 40-something people, Josh, on your team, marketers?
38. Yep.
Yeah. So it has a whole team. Obviously, this is his expertise, and we have so many talented people. But one of the things that, as I've grown Reminder Media and Josh and I have worked together, we're really passionate about only producing things that we know work and that we've tested ourselves. And one of the reasons we do pilot type programs and stuff like that is so I can convince myself beyond a shadow of a doubt that the value that we deliver to people is tried and true. It does work. And so if you're interested in being an early adopter, we're doing it already for a bunch of my select clients, but would love to hear your interest and love to put you in that pilot program. So let's talk about the follow-up. Yes, and I know I want to respect people's time, so I'll try to breeze through this. So I was talking to a couple of agents today to just, I wanted to make sure that, what I'm still saying is what they're feeling. I was talking to them about, hey, your Facebook leads, how do you feel? And one of the reasons why you hear me keep referencing the branding is because I did get a lot of agents of my clients today telling me, I really see a ton of value in Facebook from branding, but the leads, you can't get discouraged by the quality of the leads because there's a lot of top of funnel leads that are going to be coming in. And a lot of people, some people said mid funnel. And what that means is that they're interested and they are a buyer, just not today, and you're going to have to nurture them. And so one of the things that I want to encourage you with your leads, and I asked one person, I said, hey, how often are you calling? Right? And are you still calling like we talked about? And they call for 10 straight days every day. But really what I came back to is they never stop calling. They always will get these leads on the phone. Out of 100 leads, what we're seeing that come in from Facebook, whether it's on the comments or through a PDF thing, people are saying on their first contact, they're getting about 20 or so, 20% on the phone, but they're ending up getting the majority on the phone because they keep calling. So that's one tip I will give you right away, is that you have to keep outreaching to these people. You want to respond instantly. All the studies out there show, we see this in our own business, is that the faster you can respond within 5 minutes, even if you can't get on the phone, but if you have a pre-text set up or a pre-email set up, that as soon as you get that lead, you can chat them or you can send them, the better. Your chances literally decrease by like 80%, according to like the inside sales studies, of qualifying that lead after the 5 minutes. And it drops substantially every hour that goes by. So you need to follow up right away. And when you think of even like your boosted ads and stuff like that, one of the things I mentioned about, we were showing kind of a response for one of the ads we were running for an agent, was like, I think 136, right, Josh? Comments or, you know, engagement, likes, comments. One of the things I would encourage you is to take those likes and take those comments, and it's not super hard to reach out to them, to literally thank them. Like we had Ed Sulak on the podcast the other day. And one of the tips he gave, and this guy is called the Millennial
Realtor. Yeah.
And he has thousands of followers on Instagram. But one of the things he does for his followers, which drives home this point, is everybody that follows him, he pulls out his phone and he shoots a personal video for the people that engage with him or follow him on Instagram or in social channels. And he says that has been huge in helping him not just gain followers, but more importantly, keep followers. And what you're trying to do when people engage with your Facebook ads, whether it's organic or the boosted stuff that we showed you, you're trying to get those conversations offline. And what I mean by offline is you're trying to get those people to where there's a human interaction, where they don't see you as just a machine, as one of the agents I was talking to said today. They said when they were doing the follow-up calls, is the hardest thing for them was to break through to the consumer, to the client they were calling, that prospect they were calling, that they're not in some big call center, that they're not some big sales organization, that they're truly a local real estate agent. So that gives you an idea of what people feel when they interact with the stuff and the ads on Facebook, is you want to humanize yourself very quickly. So all the people who like your post, Take 3 people a day, 4 people a day. Just reach out to them, DM them, tell them simply thank you for liking my post. Hey, if you want any more value, please let me know. Another thing I would encourage you, and I got this from Steven, one of the ads that he has a ton of success with, is that basically request a list of homes under 300,000. So Lynchburg is where he's at. And so request a list of homes under 300,000. He has an inside sales rep, but how he actually opens up the call after he introduces himself. So he'll be like, hey, is this John? Hey, John, my name's Steven. I'm a real estate agent here in Lynchburg. I see that you registered on my Facebook page to receive properties in the area. And I was just calling to check in and see if you found what you were looking for. And he said that qualifying question changed the game for him in qualifying the lead, because he finds out right away, where is this person in the buyer's journey? If they're going, most of the time he says the people go, no, not exactly. And then he's able to go in through a list of qualifying questions. Questions like, hey, well, what exactly were you looking for? Were you looking for a 3-bedroom, a 4-bedroom? And the key there for your Facebook leads to keep them engaged is to try to get from where you're talking about the product to where you're talking about the relationship and the life. So it's a simple, hey, what exactly were you looking for? And then, hey, well, why were you looking for that? Meaning, hey, if you're looking for a backyard, are you looking for a backyard because you have dogs? Or are you looking for a backyard because you want privacy? And that gets a little deeper into the relationship. And then another question that is being asked is, well, how long have you been in the area? Like, how long have you lived in this area? Because then you get to find out personal things about that person that leads you down this funnel of getting that conversation to be more or less about a transaction of I gave you a list of properties and I can show you properties, down to, hey, well, what exactly are you looking for? And then the ultimate goal is trying to set up to where you can take them and show them those houses that they might be interested in. So a little hack that I have an agent doing is basically every weekend they send a text. They use a texting system. I actually wrote it down. Let's see if I have it for you guys. They use textingbase.com. There's a ton of them out there, but textingbase.com. And what they do is they send a text message right before the weekend that literally says, hey, are there any properties that you would want to see this weekend? And that's been a difference maker for all their Facebook leads that they've gotten. They end up being able to show properties to people and nurture people and bring them down the funnel just by simply sending a text. Another hack with texting that I've seen is people sending the video message. They're getting better response because the point I'm trying to drive home is when you get someone to request something off of a Facebook ad, they don't see you as human. They see you as a business. Like they see you as a machine, for lack of a better word. Take out your phone, shoot a little video, and I think like BombBomb does this, Vidyard does this, but you can do it yourself if you want, and literally just go, hey, I saw you requested information for all the properties in Lynchburg under $300,000. You know, wanted to introduce myself to you and make sure you found what you were looking for. You know, is there anything I can answer for you on there? And shoot that video message to them. One, it's super easy to do. It gives you that instant 5 minutes and it humanizes you right away. And now it puts a person to the calls that are going to follow because you should call them every day for 10 days straight until they answer. So those are some of the hacks and keys I would give you for follow-up. We have a whole webinar, Josh, if you want to skip forward real quick and show them the webinar, is we have a whole webinar on following up. And we go deep into some of the sales principles of following up that you guys can check out in your resource library. And you can always talk to your coaches because a lot of the same principles of following up to your magazine apply to following up to your Facebook leads. But those are some of the things that I would want you guys to do right away. Follow up within 5 minutes. Everybody who engages with your post, spend 4 or 5 people a day, just chat them, engage back with them. That's going to create more engagement for you. And then third, when you're calling these people, the key is to get them offline. So call them every day till you get them on the phone. When you get them on the phone, you want to ask qualifying questions. And a perfect qualifying question when you're doing something like that product-based is, hey, did you find exactly what you were looking for? And they're going to have a yes or no there, which will allow you to get deeper. Well, hey, what were you looking for? Well, perfect. Oh, you found what you were looking for. Well, so that means you are looking for X, Y, and Z. Can I show you this? So it leads you down a funnel to where you can start getting that person offline.
Yep, just a reminder on how to get, because we're getting a lot of questions in the chat, which I also posted as an answer, but remindermedia.com/FB early access is where you can go. I'll show you what that form looks like. We actually kind of have some questions built into that form just to get a sense for where you're at with your business. The best thing about this is people are asking what's the cost. We are basically going to be charging the cost that it takes to run the ads. All right, so this is something that we're starting early. We're hoping that this is something that we can offer to all of our clients. And that's why we're running this beta/pilot program, whatever you want to call it. And looking for some people that are interested, that showed up to this webinar, that are committed to their Facebook advertising and their lead generation and ultimately their follow-up like Lucas talked about. So this form right here that you see on our screen, it's just asking for your name, your email, what type of Facebook ads are you most interested in. That'll kind of allow us to look at the responses that way and have some variety there. Do you already have a Facebook business page? What's your estimated daily budget for Facebook ads? And then what CRM do you currently use? Word of warning, we will not be able to accept everybody into this. So we are going to have to limit it, the amount of people that we can choose, but make sure that you're filling it out, because once we get to the point where we're ready to start running this, we'll be reaching out to everybody that fills it out from this webinar. We're only making this available on this webinar while it's live. So make sure that you go over to remindermedia.com/ FB early access to check that out. The other thing that we're doing, like I mentioned, every client on the line right now has Social Media Shares Premium for free until the end of May. If you're not currently a Reminder Media client or sending out American Lifestyle Magazine or Start Healthy Magazine, we are offering a free month to you for Social Media Shares Premium. Again, that's only good for this webinar. So if you go to remindermedia.com/SMS1, stands for Social Media Shares 1, you can fill out that form and we will get you set up with a free month of our Social Media Shares Premium. Simple payment just to kind of, you put in your credit card, but you don't get charged anything unless you continue into the second month. So if you continue using it beyond month 1, it's just, someone else had asked this, it's just $39.99 a month for non-magazine clients. If you're using the magazine, it's $19.99 a month.
And there's literally thousands of pieces of content in there. So you saw Josh use some of the content for today in the ads. There's thousands of pieces of content that will enable you. So if you think about that follow-up strategy, someone engages with your post, and let's say it was like that example Josh was showing of the recipe, you could literally go in, grab another recipe and say, hey, I saw you engage. Just want to say thank you for engaging. You know, if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. Hey, thought you might check out, or thought you might like this one that I'm posting today, and send that to them. It makes people feel special, warm and fuzzy inside. That's what builds impact and mind share. That's what gets people to put you in a position of likability. Ultimately, it's about what? Getting known, liked, and trusted. So when you think from a marketing standpoint, like we at Reminder Media, everything we do, like these webinars, is we want to become the marketing company of trust to you guys. We want to be in that position where you guys like us, you know who we are, you trust us, and you're willing to trust us with your marketing dollars to help you. And that's what you're translating to your clients is how do I get people to know me, like me, and trust me so they come and use me when the timing's right. All right.
A lot of form requests come in. So just as a reminder, the website, the link for getting the early access to Facebook ad service is remindermedia.com/FB early access. And then our link for the Social Media Shares Premium for non-magazine clients, it's a free month, is remindermedia.com/SMS1. All right. What do you think, Luke? Should we do questions?
I think it's Stephanie saying, can you display the actual website address to go for Facebook? It's down there. It should be at the bottom of
right here at the bottom.
So it should be there at the bottom of the screen. Okay, yeah, so questions and answers. So let's get to some Q&A a little bit here. And obviously, guys, this is recorded, so you can refer back to it. All of you have marketing coaches, so obviously they can point you in the right direction. And then anything Josh and I can do, if you connect with us on social, you can find me on Instagram or Facebook at Luke Acree. On Facebook, it's at Luke Acree RM, stands for Reminder Media, so at Luke Acree RM. You guys can DM me, comments, messaging. I try to get in touch with everybody and make sure I can answer you guys' questions. And then you can get a hold of Josh and I. If you are a fan of our podcast, if you're not a fan of our podcast, you should be, but it's at State Paid Podcast. So you can get a hold of any of Josh and I at Stay Paid Podcast, and Josh is super active on there, and he'll answer any of your questions as well.
A couple people mentioning that they do get the option to choose my own business page. So I think that was related to when sharing from your account manager, clicking Facebook and having the option to choose your business page. That's awesome. It doesn't show up for me for some reason. I have no idea why it used to. We were looking at it as a team the other day, and the other team members were saying, hey, yeah, it used to show that for me. I may have changed something in my business settings that doesn't allow me to do that, but that's great. So that makes it a lot easier to be able to share from the account manager if you can just click the Facebook link to share from there. Comments, too much text, ads with limited text do better. Yeah, I mean, you have to test this, and Facebook has given some great tools to be able to test creative. We have found recently, I would say, so I'll approach this from two angles. Number one, too much text in your image will hurt your ad. Okay, Facebook does not like a lot of text in your image. It used to be if your image had more than 20% text in it, meaning more than 20% of the image was text, I think it would flat out reject it. Now they just basically, it's more expensive. They make it more expensive for you because they don't like it. Whether that's a standpoint of because it's not as easy for the computers to read it or what, to make sure it's not saying anything that goes against policy. But we found that a lot of text, and it's got to be strong sales copy, you know, or strong persuasive copy in your Facebook ads is very compelling, and we've seen a lot of great results from it. One of the nice things is if you can make sure that you've kind of led in with something that's interesting or intriguing in that first sentence, you see that little more button underneath the text. It engages people, and it entices them to want to click more. How many people have been on Facebook and done that, or been on LinkedIn and seen that sort of, that almost, I don't want to say clickbaity, but very like sensational first line of text, and you want to keep reading that. That's going to also help with your engagement. Facebook is seeing that people are clicking more, and so now they're saying, hey, this is a pretty good quality ad. The people that we're targeting are liking it, so let's find more people like that. So I would never say anything blanket like that is better or worse. It definitely depends on your audience. It definitely depends on the quality of your creative, and it depends on, you know, what you're optimizing for as well. So that's where we're saying always mix stuff up.
We have one ad running right now, Josh, that it's like we have a big caps no, and it just says no, and then you have to go below the fold really to find out why. But it's so funny seeing the engagement on that ad, and people, you know, going, why'd you say no? So it's that no is what's attracting people, and it's just really no, image isn't everything. But we go into why image is important and all this stuff to go with the magazine, but it was that no that caught people's attention, that got them to stop, pay attention, and then with the imagery, and it was long form text. Like we had a lot of text on that ad, but we're getting incredible engagement from it.
The funny part is people are, you know, it would be people commenting saying, you should never start an ad with the word no. Like, well,
I got you to stop, didn't I? That's the hard thing about advertising sometimes, is that it's about getting attention and then turning that attention into action. And sometimes you got to do stuff that gets people, that's out of the box, gets people's attention. Daniel here says, you know, I guess these tropical properties in St. John, he has multiple ads and new contacts that go into his CRM, and he's getting leads, but literally zero response. Any way to get real clients? So great question. This is, you know, I hear from agents all the time. It's, you know, the leads, I don't want to compare them to Zillow, but a lot of times people talk about them like Zillow, like they're not highly qualified leads from my experience of what I've seen. Now, it doesn't mean you can't get an ad that's really well done that gets you a bunch of high qualified leads, but majority of leads you're getting off of Facebook, or at least in my experience talking to agents, they're more top of funnel leads or middle of funnel leads. The thing I would say to you, Daniel, real quick is, one is how fast are you outreaching to them? What does that email look like? And change that email to be a video that you send to them. If you don't want to pick up the phone and call them right away, I would change that to be a video, because you want to humanize yourself. Third is, I would ask you, how many times are you touching them? Over the course of the next 10 days, how many times are you touching them? And with what? And I would encourage you to call them. I'm not sure if you're getting their email addresses and phone numbers, but those are a couple of things I would look at right away. Like I said, the clients that I'm working with, they're seeing about 20 to 25% pick up when they reach out, and then they're getting the majority of people on the phone. They're having to call consistently. And I mean, this is my opinion. A lot of people might disagree with me, but this is just who I am as a salesperson. A lead is never a no. It's just a not now. It's just, so I'm never going to let you go. Meaning, like, it doesn't mean I'm going to call you all the time. I'm not going to harass anybody, but it just means I'm going to build a funnel to where if you're hot right away, I'm reaching out consistently all the time, because frequency gets people to actually pick up or gets people to actually respond. And then over time, maybe after 10 days or 14 days, then I'm lessening, right? And I'm going down, and eventually I put them on a drip that doesn't cost me a lot of money. Maybe it's an email drip or something, but I'm never letting those go. And I can't tell you the amount of people that we've been nurturing for years that have finally decided to give us a chance. And you think they're not paying attention, but they are. And so I just would encourage you that a lead's never no, it's just a not now.
Yeah, I was just checking some of the options because I had some people asking, shouldn't you set this to housing? So I was just showing them where I set that. I'm creating a campaign for ads in a special category for
I
housing.
think that was when you were doing the boosting ad. You just talked about special ad category, but you didn't change the actual drop down. But
Gotcha.
yeah, even on the boosting ad, you would want to change that to
A
housing.
couple people asking about auction. Why is it selected? It's the only option for this type of ad that I'm optimizing for. And basically it means that you're just bidding against every other advertiser that's trying to hit the same audience that you're trying to hit. A/B testing, the question was brought up. So A/B testing creative, or I guess A/B testing in general, if you're unfamiliar with the term, is taking one piece of creative and testing that against to the same audience or a split of the same audience with another piece of creative and seeing which one works more. Facebook has some great options to be able to change. You can build an ad and write 5 different headlines for the ad and then let Facebook display those 5 different headlines, figure out which one is working better. You can even have it automatically choose the winner. So if one is doing better than any of the others, it'll just switch to the best one after a certain amount of time. Very similar to email A/B testing, if you've ever done that with subjects, where you can change the entire design to test 2 pieces of creative against each other.
A question is, where do we get the podcast again? It's staypaidpodcast.com. Or if you want to communicate with us on social, it's at staypaidpodcast. So you can find us on Facebook or Instagram. We actually just started our Facebook page for that just recently. So more on Instagram and more on staypaidpodcast.com. Also, just wanted to say, if you're doing farming, because a lot of people are asking about the ads and what we're going to help people with. If you're doing farming with us right now through like postcards or through the magazine, you know, one of the things in this pilot program that we're going to be doing is going, okay, who are you targeting right now? And just like I help my clients think holistically, right, in omnipresence is, hey, you're already reaching this sphere through print this way, or through email, maybe through our local content. So let's tie that in. Let's not think of things separately in a silo. Let's think about them holistically. So the farming postcard that you send out, maybe we replicate that as your ad, as the piece of content you're doing on Facebook. So that type of idea. So that's the way we're thinking about it.
Couple good questions coming in. Amanda, do you suggest to do ads even though you don't have a lot of engagement on your business page yet? Great question. This was actually something that we did with Luke whenever we set up your Facebook business page or your profile. I guess we had set it up a while ago, but we started running branding ads for Luke, right? We wanted to get Luke out to a bigger audience. He does a ton of coaching videos. He does coaching calls with clients. He's doing these webinars. Every week we're doing a new webinar at this point. And bringing a lot of people in there. So we wanted just to bring more attention to his page. We didn't have a ton of engagement yet. We started running ads, and just to give you an idea from the branding type ads that we were running, again, these weren't things that we were trying to drive leads to, our site. We do have ads that we run from Luke's page that are lead generation, but this was just pure branding. About 10,000 of the 15,000 likes that he has on his page came from running these branding type ads. So, and we've maintained that. So the great thing there is obviously the quality's there. You got to be putting out the quality content, which Luke does. So make sure to follow him on Facebook. He's Luke Acree RM on Facebook. He's at Luke Acree on Instagram.
Josh had to figure out how to do the magic of Photoshop on it.
But so that just gives you an idea. Absolutely. Absolutely. Go ahead. Another question I saw come in was from Kim. She says, what is considered a good cost per lead? This is a question that everybody asks when they first get into running ads. It's the question that I asked when I first started running into ads. I'm looking up all over the place. What's a good cost per lead? It depends. It depends on your business. It depends on the value of a client or a transaction, and it depends on your conversion rate. So if you're getting leads at $1 a lead and you're converting 0, well then $1 a lead is not a good cost per lead for you. Now that doesn't mean you're closing them tomorrow, but if you're running this for a while and tracking, and you're not getting any transactions, then something's wrong. Either your targeting is wrong, your pre-qualification in your lead form process is wrong. So that's where you would want to get in there and start adding more custom type of questions or things that people have to fill out. With the caveat, you will get less leads. You will probably get a higher cost per lead, but they could be more qualified and you could end up converting more on the back end. And then at that point, you would just have to do the math. Now, what we've done for our own marketing is we've reversed engineered it completely, where we take the lifetime that a client would spend with us, the value of a client, that they would spend with ReminderMedia. We then reverse engineer that to say, well, how much would a CPA be? So our cost per acquisition, what's reasonable for that? Then we look at how likely are they to convert on the phone and sign up with us, like all of you have. Then we would go back and look at, well, how much does it cost to get them to fill out a PDF sample request, which for us would be like our hotter, our warmer lead, a little bit more engaged than downloading an ebook. So there's some intent there, or at least some consideration, because they're looking at the product. I know I saw a lot of you guys chatting in at the beginning of the webinar that you found us on Facebook. It's how you learned about us. So that's why we're so passionate about it, wanting to help other people do it, because it works. So we would look at the conversion rate in each one of those funnels, right? How much does it cost to display it to people? How much does it cost to get them to click? How much does it cost to get them to take action, which is download that PDF sample? How much, what's the conversion rate for whenever they actually go from requesting a sample to signing up with us? And then how long do they stay with us? All of that math then goes into your, what's a good cost per lead. We actually have a lead tracking calculator. It's an Excel spreadsheet. Maybe we'll make sure to include that. So we'll add that in the, I'm just adding a bunch of stuff to the follow-up email. Our team is like,
manager's freaking out.
we should include that in this, and maybe we'll post a link to it on the Facebook Live, because we're live on Facebook on both ReminderMedia and Luke's page. So maybe we can include a link on that one also, Andrea, since I know you're listening. But use that, because that gives you the conversion points that I'm talking about, and then all you have to do is plug in your costs, your own conversion points or your own conversion metrics, and that'll ultimately tell you what a good cost per lead is. We were spending on Stevens, this one that you see here, I believe we were spending $5 per lead, less than $5 per lead on buyer leads. I was watching a webinar the other day, or saw a webinar being promoted, where they were saying 94 cents per buyer's lead. So go watch that webinar, see what they're doing with their lead offers to learn from that. Do as much research as possible, watch what other people are doing, learn from other people. Seller leads, we have run a lot of ads for seller leads. They tend to be more expensive, obviously, because they're more valuable, and they're a little bit, finding that intent is a little bit more difficult. But I hope that answered your question. There really is no good answer. You have to do the math, you have to test, you have to determine what those leads are worth to you before you can figure out what a good cost per lead is.
We really appreciate all of you, all of our clients on the line. We just appreciate your support. We want to be there for you. Please take advantage of Social Media Shares Premium right now. It's free in your account for you. I just want to encourage everybody, now's the time to connect with your clients, with your database. There is a whole category in the Social Media Shares library that has to do with content that's relevant and valuable for your client base as they're quarantined and stuck at home. So please use that to fullest extent, brand it, share it, all that good stuff. We want to help you. Now's the time to look at your database. So go through and look at your database, who you want to add, who you want to take off, all those good things. Make sure you're staying up to date there. We appreciate you. We know we couldn't get to all the questions. But we appreciate you guys tuning in. This will be sent out, and we're going to have more of this. So this is kind of the first into Facebook. We've done Facebook before, but we're going to have more and more of this, and maybe more niche and specialized based upon just one ad, and spend kind of the whole webinar just on that one ad to help you guys out. If you're interested in us doing your ads for you, go to remindermedia.com/FB early access. It's at the bottom of the screen there. But just remember, difference between people who make a lot of money and people who don't, top producers and mediocre producers, is they take action. Top producers take action. They implement things. They test things. One of the things that it blew me away about my brother that I didn't even know, but it just made it more clear in my life and what I see successful people do, is the one trait he had that I couldn't teach was he was just willing to act and go and do. And he was willing to pick up the phone and just call. He was willing to do those things and not just say it, but actually do it. So if something's holding you back right now from making the calls to your clients right now, from doing the things that actually produce in your business, You need to overcome that with your why. Why are you in this business? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why do you exist? What is that why that's driving you? Because that why's got to be bigger than the fear of taking action. Take action on something you've learned today. We appreciate you guys. Check us out on social media, and we'll be back soon.
Thanks, everybody.